But the real question that we have is, would Bayani eat... You know what? Never mind. So...
Wow.
Wow,
Well, that's the discourse in superhero circles today.
that's
Well,
true.
for the last couple of days. Um, Hi, everyone. I'm Simon at Wondering with the M. Welcome back to Sentinels of the Multiverse. We've been gone for a while I rested my voice box, which is getting better and better.
Yay.
Hey,
I'm basically back to where I was like a month and a half ago, but it's at least that. So tonight we're going to play Sentinels Comics, the role-playing game, but before we delve back into our thing, it just reminded myself that I needed to activate something, because I would like to remind all of you that in this game, dear chat, you can influence the events and the challenges that are set against our heroes. And for that, you can basically purchase trading cards using our trading card game mechanic with stream loots. We already have a lot of cool cards that were played, and we've unlocked the secret backstory issues of a few characters already. So that said, I would like to remind everyone that every dollar that we get through this is going right back into the players' pockets. It is our way here at Wondering DM to sort of thank the players for taking some time off of their Thursdays evenings to come play pretend with me on the internet. Without further ado, before we delve into a short recap of what happened the last two issues, let's just go around the table, introduce our characters, and then we'll get things underway. We'll start with the person in the top left corner of the overlay. So we'll begin with Fitz.
What? Okay, it's me. Hi. I don't know what to say anymore. I've been away for so long. I have lost entirely what I should be saying. So hi.
Who are
My
you?
name's
Who are you
Andrew.
playing? Yeah.
My name is Andrew. I'm playing Fitz. He is our resident himbo, and he takes himself very seriously. And yeah, it's kind of a fun role to play, kind of counter to a lot of stuff that I usually do. So he's a teleporter, and I think that's kind of as far as we've gotten so far. He likes to use a sword. Yeah, and he's kind of bamfed around and saved a few people, we might say. Yeah, who's next?
Not to say save the same person countless times over.
Shh.
Right next to Fitz, we have Anaya.
hello everybody. My name is Pooja, and I am once again picking up the not mantle of Anaya, our local medical expert and reluctant hero. Anaya is mostly sees herself as a member of this team who tries to help patch up the crazier folks when things go wrong, and also has had to tap into a set of skills that mostly terrify her, and so she hasn't really had a chance to cope with that, because I don't think they've really had a chance to cope with much at all. Things have just been happening. So it'll be really interesting when
It's been
downtime hits.
Yeah, it's been a rather hectic 1.5 day.
Yeah, they're kind of all just, I think, running on adrenaline at this point still. So it'll be very interesting to see when they have their more human moments together, how all of this plays out.
We might actually have some of these human moments later tonight, but first, let's introduce the bottom row on the overlay. We'll start again with the person to the left, go back right, so we'll begin with Archer.
Hey, I'm Hannah. I'm playing Archer Ashley in this game. She is one of the aforementioned persons that is causing Anaya a lot of concern. So we'll see if that is actually addressed tonight when we have some time to breathe. I'm looking forward to it.
And last but not least, we have Bayani.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Zanino. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Bayani, who is the veteran hero of the group and I guess the de facto adult in the room.
And in our last issues, previously on Sentinel Comics, the group captured, or tried actually to capture, the rogue government agent mercenary called Manowar in a climactic standoff at the broken bridge that leads out of the city. The heroes actually found out that Manowar was not Manowar, and in fact turned into a small sort of black cube. He disintegrated until all that was left was this little cube. The cube was brought back to their headquarters in at Paragon Industries HQ, and with the help of their, oh god, I think I don't have him in my notes, shit poop. What's the name of the guy that works in your lab, Bayani? Artifice?
Dr. Artifice, yes.
Dr. Artifice. See, I had it. So with the help of Dr. Artifice, they figured out there was some sort of energy source inside the cube. They were able to break open the cube, and from within, this little sphere, like a bead, really began to bounce everywhere before hurling itself out of the lab through a window and started ping-ponging across the city. Two of them, actually. You trace the signal back to a monument, or a statue, I should say, in the park. And I believe when we ended, our last panel was of the four of you discovering that there was an opening under this monument. And if not, that's where we're going to begin tonight.
There was an opening.
Yeah, we would see as the four of you, so our first panel tonight is like an overhead shot of the four heroes, Fitz, Anaya, Archer, and Bayani, around this statue. And I'll leave it to one of you, but one of you discover that there is a secret switch. One of the steps that leads to the plinth where the statue is sort of wobbly and can be moved.
So we see that, but also I think the last thing we had talked about was that we had we seen simulacra on video? What was the deal there?
No, I believe that was something that out of game everyone saw.
Oh, the person, but I thought
No, sorry.
photos that other people took.
God, it's been a while. Yes,
I
you
called
saw
my
our own
cousin Sue.
photos. Yep.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Speaking of
Sorry.
calling your cousin.
That wasn't supposed to happen. I called my cousin Sue, and my cousin Sue said that the pink-haired woman is often followed by destruction, and there was mention of Pakistan, Russia, Australia, and all stuff far from U.S. soil. And somewhere her records of her were being erased. So all we know is second or third hand testament, but there's no direct record of this pink-haired lady.
Okay. And now we have a moving plinth step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Does do you want me to inspect that?
Sure.
And she just looks around at everybody else.
Be our guest.
Oh, okay. Anaya's going to approach, I guess, and just test the, like, very gingerly, I think, like, touch. And to try to figure out what's happening.
When you just touch it, like, you feel it's wobbly, like it's sitting on an axis.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least sitting on something that makes it not completely even with the rest of the steps. It's about the size of a brick. So, like, like 8 or so inches long, about 4 inches wide. And it's, made of the same material as the rest.
Mm-hmm.
The crack in it looks at first glance natural. Type of thing that, people would easily overlook. When you touch it, like, there's no immediate, let's say, reaction from the stone. If you just, gingerly tap it, nothing moves, nothing opens, there's no sound, nothing special. Even though it looks and feels wobbly, you're fairly certain that you need a certain amount of force to move it or to remove it from where it is.
Okay. But Bayani, I think we need somebody stronger than me to pull this. This is going to take some prying off.
Well, I mean, certainly I can do it, but I feel that the three of you need to start exploring how to use your powers in a little bit more out of the box fashion. So, why don't you give it a shot?
I think Anaya's gonna pull at it, like,
You don't need to roll
she's not very
anything.
comfortable doing more than that right now.
All right. So you grab it with both hands as
Sure.
much as you can and start pulling, and it moves about half an inch. And you hear the sound of something grinding coming from under the monument. But the moment you have it up, like I said, about half an inch, it's jammed there. And you would notice that, like, copper plaque where you have, like, the inscription of, like, who the monument was, who, like, sculpted it and all that. The writing on it fades and is replaced by other writing. Same look. Probably a holographic projection of, like, the exact same font with the same style, so that it looks like it's just embossed on the copper plaque. But it says, too many witnesses. Clear out area and try again.
Oh. Well, it's intelligent, or somebody controlling it is, but I suppose they have a point. Any ideas on how to clear out the area?
I don't think those instructions were meant for us, but
You sure? Sure seems like it was a direct response to whatever she was doing.
right. But I don't think we were actually the intended recipient of the address. I think they were the message. I think it was someone else who was meant to activate that. Guessing whoever has been sending those transmissions and manipulating these little beads is the person who was. attempting to experiment and apply whatever this is.
It's still a good point. If something is to happen, the fewer people they are around to get hurt, the better. We've seen how it goes when there's others around. She's, of course, thinking about the storage container and the bus, full of chat.
But there were also quite a few people in the park. You know, joggers, people walking, just people relaxing. Since, you know, that's who you asked, you know, when you asked around last time for any pictures. And there's no indication of, like, how wide this area that you need to clear is. However, and I forgot to mention, after it appeared, you have enough time to read it before the letters just fade out and the writing of the plaque itself returns.
Should Bayani, do you think we can cordon off the area with construction tape or something and make people skirt?
I'm afraid not. You know, we don't have a construction site here. You have to pull permits for that sort of thing, and we don't really have any sort of authority to just, you know, open up the scene or cordon off the scene in the same way that the police do. Unfortunately, we are still kind of operating in a sort of gray area. But as he's mentioning this, he's going to try to trigger the switch again to see if the message changes at all.
You bend down, pick up the brick, and try to lift it. And it's the same thing. It's about half an inch of, like, grinding, and then stops moving, and the message reappears on the plaque. So it looks more like an automated message than someone remotely trying to contact you or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So they were just leaving this message for someone in particular.
Are there a lot of people, like, are we the only people around this thing, or is there, like, a lot of people in the park?
I mean, immediately around this thing, you're the only ones. But if you look around, like, within a couple of yards from you, you always have, like, one or two joggers just running along the bike path. There are a few trees with, like, let's say there's a couple having a picnic. There's, like, a guy sitting on a bench with his dog sleeping at his feet. He's just, like, playing on his phone. You know, nothing too crowded. But still, there is enough people that even if you were trying to be sneaky, like, one of them would see you for sure.
I think our only option is if we want to investigate this thing a little bit further. We're just going to have to come back at night.
I think you're muted, Archer.
No, I'm just thinking, because what if whatever happened that we got here just in time for is gone by the time we come back at night? I mean, how long would it take for somebody to come up and ask for a permit if you were to put up the construction tape that Anaya recommended?
So I'm just going to remind you of something, because I had to remind myself of that too. When we had our session 0, one of the things that we decided for the game is that heroes are not trusted anymore. So if you want to get a permit, like, you'll have to pass yourselves off as, like, mundane people. Or you could just buy, like, that, like, yellow, like, do not cross tape at a store.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was thinking, is put it up there and hopefully be out of the vicinity before anyone even notices or questions it. I mean, how unusual is it? Like, are we in the equivalent is the city like New York, where you see police tape and people just like keep walking? Like, are we at Gotham? What's the deal here? You know.
So we're in. I think we said San Francisco. I just need to like really research San Fran a bit more. But it's a major hub.
Mhm.
And it's got enough people normally that and enough like construction and stuff happening throughout the city that, you know, people might not think twice. You don't necessarily look, the four of you, out of place. Like, I mean, your clothing might be a little out of the ordinary. I mean, one of you literally has a metal arm. But we are in a world where there used to be heroes. And technology did go, like, you know, leaps and bounds faster. Like, upgrades in technology went a lot faster than what it is in our, like, current world. Well, current year in our world. So it's not that like, it's not that bizarre. Of course, if you were all wearing, you know, spandex suits and capes, that might be different. But right now, you look a little out of place, if only for the fact that you've been, like, staring at a monument for the past, like, 15-20 minutes. And have been asking a lot of questions about people around, but, like, you could just be waiting for someone. Like, it's the... You know, you have to think about the bystander effect, too. Like, a lot of people will not react to anything, even if something dangerous is literally staring them in the face.
For cover, I'll grab Archer and pull out my phone and post for an obnoxious looking selfie. Yeah. that should deflect suspicion.
I should really, you know, I have this thing about not wanting to set a bad example for you three, but, oh no, I think the statue was about to fall, and Bayani is going to discreetly pull out his grappling hook, fire it at the statue, and try to tug it down so that it would crash.
Okay. This is a challenge that you're creating for yourself. Because you're trying to do it sneakily. So, what would you use for that?
I think it would probably be vitality, clutch, and green. I think that's...
Yeah, we're always in green unless something happens. Alright, this would be an overcome action. I'll let you know right away. Any twist that you get, though, means that someone will have seen you.
Okay, that's fair.
Mid-die is a 5. So, you take your grappling hook, like your grappling gun out, and just like subtly shoot it at the statue. And start reeling it in. The statue is heavy. Heavier than you thought at first. And while the statue will eventually just clunk and fall down, everyone around can hear the like whir of the like the little motor inside your grappling gun just going like a drill that has trouble. Nobody seems to be paying attention, but the moment the statue falls, it falls with a loud crash. It even breaks, like one arm of the person like breaks off, and everyone around, joggers, stop running. The dog that was asleep just like sits up, like, hmm? A few birds fly away. There's like silence. And then you hear a voice.
Bayani's gonna look up. Bayani's gonna look up and point at the birds like, "Oh my God, Brandon Lee, what are you doing here?" And try to deflect the blame for the.
I think Anaya's gonna be like, "Oh my God, how did that just happen?" She's not a good actor. Oh my God, we almost just died.
No one calls the cops. Everyone gets their phones out to take pictures. How do you react to that? Because right now there's the four of you more or less suspiciously next to a fallen down broken statue. But like, you don't see anyone dialing on their phone or talking on their phone. And you know for a fact that, you know, this park, and we'll say it's, I like this place. Buena Vista Park. It's gonna be like at the bottom of Buena Vista Park. It's, like, it doesn't have like a warden or anything of the like. Like, the only way someone will see this is perhaps like an employee of the like city, not management, but like, you know, an employee, a city worker or whatever will probably see it from the street. But so far, something happened. I'm not gonna tell you what, but something happened.
So that's when Bayani is going to.
Oh, go ahead, Bayan.
Break out his phone and just call for a Paragon repair crew to come out to the scene and set up shop.
And then I think Anaya will still loudly be like, "Oh my God, I don't know what just happened," and like go around the back of the statue as they're like trying to completely do like the whole like, "Oh my God, like what happened here?" Like bystander, bug-eyed exploring.
There's still like a foot of the statue still like up on the plinth. It broke off at the ankle. The rest of the monument is intact-ish. You notice, Anaya, that from the broken foot on the statue, two little copper wires are protruding.
All right.
Like, it's something that you would easily miss if you weren't, you know, right next to it and really deliberately looking at what's going on. And there are little sparks, like, on the copper wire. They're still live.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Was it an earthquake? Fitz, hurry, come here, look.
Fitz will, like, kind of wasn't doing anything, kind of was just, like, staring at everything go on, automatically, like, hops to it and, like, plays along with Anaya. And the, oh my God.
Mostly she
wow,
wants
that
him
that
to
must
look
have
at the
been
wire.
really bad construction. What are we looking at, Anaya?
I point out the two wires. You're the electronics guy, right?
I mean, I can like do things with like gadgets sometimes, but like those just look like wires.
They're live. What are they doing? Why are there wires under a statue?
Maybe it was a big antenna. Can Fitz kind of like go look at the statue to see if maybe there are other metal bits sticking out that would imply it was like an antenna?
when you go back around to where the statue is, like, you can see in its leg. Well, you can't really see it. You sort of have to fish with your fingers inside the leg, and you feel these copper wires. They're almost like soldered to the inside of the statue. And unless you break the statue in pieces, you know the wires go somewhere inside the statue. If you look at the broken arm, there are no wires in there. So they led probably somewhere else inside. But it could very well be like a hidden, maybe not white, like powerful enough to send a signal throughout the city, but maybe powerful enough to like cover at least half the city, or maybe a couple of city blocks. But it's definitely not something that, you know, it's not like a cell phone tower that would have been hidden there. Like, it's... shit, what's the word I'm looking for? Not illegal, but, like, it's been done by someone on the down low. Like, it's not anything official.
Okay, Fitz will turn to Anaya. Anaya. So I'm not really good with anatomy, but if you were gonna stick copper wires in a leg, where would you have them come out? And he's just gonna like point at the leg.
Can I look at this from an... So Anaya had basically thought of this as like a mechanical issue and hadn't paid much attention. So can she go about this with more of a, from a medical point of view, from an anatomical point of view? Yeah.
I think somebody like cut the statue open, and I'm just not good with this bio stuff. So I think he's hurt, but I don't know how.
Bio is her thing. She can do bio.
Yeah, I think you had a oh, what is it? Now I'm losing the terms from the game itself. Your archetype.
Yes, she's my archetype.
No, not archetype. Sorry, your principles.
I have power. I have principle of the lab and principle of the powerless. But
oh, yeah,
she is a doctor and she has medicine as a quality.
That's what I was looking for. Quality. Oof. Yes, you don't need to roll. Now that you look at it from an anatomical angle, someone basically mimic. I suck at biology. The name of the big vein that goes in your leg. Anyway, that.
Yeah, biology class is too far back.
I know there's a femoral artery in there. That's about all I know.
I think it's a femoral artery. Anyway, it goes like on the inside of your thigh and then all the way up to your heart. Like it's one of the main.
I think that might be the femoral.
That is the femoral.
But
That is.
all I know is you cut that shit, you die.
Well, that's it. And someone basically just used the same pathway, let's say. So these wires, logically, should lead to the heart of the statue. So if there's anything, it might be located, like, in the center-ish of the chest of that statue.
Okay. Now that is the statue on the ground face down or face up?
Let's ask Bayani, when you pulled on it, did you pull so that it falls face down or face up? Or on its side?
Face down.
Okay, so it's face down.
Okay. All right, I guess she's crawling under. I'm assuming it's too big to flip around. And I will say...
Well, it depends on how strong you are.
Do we really want to do that when everybody's still looking?
She has a D6 strength. Not the best.
Yeah, no.
But she's not super large, so she can probably crawl. Like, I'm assuming if you take the plinth and it's like this, it's probably like a triangle. So she's gonna crawl under and see if she can get to where the heart would be, and say, Archer, Fitz, could you cover me? And I think she's just gonna go in there and this is kind of like the principle of the lab in play, in that like she has to, it's that like sciencey investigating side of her coming out. And so, I mean, she doesn't really expect to find an actual heart there, but she wants to examine it and like feel it. And it's been a long time, so I have to ask. One of her powers is density. Is that density of only herself? Or is that also density of things she touches?
I think we said at first that the density was only yourself.
Okay. Well, she's gonna knock on the statue. She is trying to figure out, like, is it hollow? Is there something in there? Is there anything
hollow.
she can see? Okay.
As
It's
you're doing
definitely
this,
hollow.
is there any jogger like running on the path nearby?
Most of them that would be on the path, they like slow down to look at what's going on.
Fitz is just gonna kind of like look over her shoulder and, I think he had a heart attack, pointing at the statue.
People are just looking confused.
And is muted. And you're
And
muted.
Alright. He's just gonna sit there and just pinch the bridge of his nose and just say, I think I need to point out that this is not an actual human body, and you don't need to go to the heart through the chest. You can probably just cut open a section through the back.
Do you have tools that would cut through copper on you?
Sure, but I think folks would notice me wielding a very fiery blade or implement to carve it open. But one of us has a metal arm. Maybe they can sort of just use that to pry open a section.
Yeah, this just seemed efficient. But what does Anaya see or hear anything while she's down there examining the heart? Like, is this even worth it?
There's no sound coming from it. Because one way or another, if it was live, the wires were cut off. So.
Yeah. But like she did like kind of hit it around it. Did she hear anything?
Oh yeah. So if you hit like, I thought you just like knocked on the statue to see if the statue itself was hollow. So the statue was hollow.
She was kind of doing it around, kind of trying to see like, are there parts of the statue that are not hollow?
Yeah. There's
Difference in density.
There's one about the size of a cell phone. If you knock on the back, you can hear that the sound is different. But it's not like it was completely filled. So whatever it is probably taped to the front of the statue and doesn't reach all the way to the back.
Okay. So I will kind of mentally mark where that area of different density is, and I will climb out from under the statue and point Archer to that direction.
Okay, so if I will a D8 strength punch through the back of the statue?
You'll definitely need a roll for that.
Okay.
Can
I'll
I
do-
assist on it?
You can roll your assist first, yes. And let me know how you do that.
I see Bayani's or Ren is just going to put his hands around the section to sort of and then apply his power to heat the area to make it a little bit more malleable.
Okay. So, roll your boost. We know it's green for the first one, but what are the other two?
We're going to go with fire and self-discipline here.
Yeah. So, with a 2,
2.
Archer, you have a +1.
Okay, I'm going to use strength, finesse, and green and see what I get.
So that would be a 7, and with a 7, it succeeds. but with a twist. You shove your arm in the statue. Your fingers, like, you feel something when your hand is inside, but the way you punched through, the way it, like, broke, you can't get your hand out anymore, and your arm is stuck in there.
That sucks.
I can't. I mean, it's in there. There's something in there for sure. What it is just gonna have to wait, apparently. Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah, Anaya's there. She is going to priority 1, Archer's arm, and then see what can be done with what's inside.
It pops right off and right back on, Doc. That's not the problem. It's, getting it out of there.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do. And then I guess Anaya will ask Bayani's help some more in terms of, like, heating different additional areas to make them more malleable and, like, try to, like... I think at one point you probably see her take off her jacket and give it to Archer and ask Archer to take the arm off. And, like, I just picture Anaya, like, climbing up there and, like, having her legs against the statue and, like, trying to finagle it out at certain angles.
Well, this is a strange thing I'll see all day.
Fitzroy wants to remind you to lift with your legs.
Not the strangest thing I've seen. Hospitals are strange places.
Right.
So yes, I don't know if I need to roll.
Yes.
Yes, rescue Archer's arm.
Rolled. Thank you.
One of the things that do help when you're someone that can control their own density, is that, so long as you are denser than whatever other material you're trying to go through, it'll be a lot easier. Because, this is copper, but if you turn yourself to something denser than copper, then copper becomes, like, the same thing that water would be to a normal person. Or depending on how high you roll.
Yeah. So she'll make at least, like, she'll focus on turning at least, like, the bottom half of her body more dense. She doesn't want to get the top half of her body dense because she's pulling on the arm with that half and she doesn't want to smush the arm. But she'll, yes. So I will roll, I guess, density and medicine?
Explain medicine?
Because she's trying to, like, she's mimicking as though this is a surgery, like, in terms of...
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that works.
Yeah. Trying to preserve the thing being, the body part stuck in the cavity. Okay, I need D10, D8, and D6 for green.
Yeah, because we're still green.
All right. How do rolls work here again? Oh, I rolled it on my own. Sorry.
No, that's okay. You take the middle die. So the middle value.
That's a 5. I rolled a 6, 5, and a 3.
Okay. But Bayani, you wanted Bayani to help you again, right?
I did ask for help, yes.
Okay. Did you do so?
Yes. So I guess that will be a 4.
Well, that's a +2. So that brings it to a 7, I believe, Anaya?
Yes.
All right. So with the now heated copper, like, around the arm, you begin to control the molecules of your body to get them denser. And because it's the bottom half of your body, your feet begin to sink in the grass and the dirt. As you basically, the more you pull on the arm, the more you sink. You manage to get the arm out. But here's an interesting minor twist. You feel something denser than dirt and grass under your feet by the time you get the arm out. By the way, you are almost up to your waist.
Inside the
In
statue?
grass.
Yep. Oh, in grass. Okay.
Yeah, I figured you were like standing on on the side of the statue,
Yeah.
pulling on the arm. So by the time you manage to pull on the arm, like you stopped sinking. Well, that's only because you can feel something solid under your foot.
Okay. I will.
Fitz is going to like interrupt like some nearby joggers and just be like, guys, like, look, sinkholes, and he's gonna point at Anaya, who's up to her waist in the ground. He's just gonna, sinkholes, just move back. Let anybody else move back.
Yeah, they take a few steps back, turn around, and like you see another group of like 5 joggers coming in, and those 2 stop the 5. And you can like you don't hear them, but you see them talk, and then the entire group, the 7 of them, turn back around. So it's clearing a bit of the area around. And you won't need a roll, by the way, Pooja, to get out of there.
I'm
But it's
assuming
just-
the 3 up. My 3 buddies will help me get out.
You need a hand?
Yeah. Yes, please. I mean, I don't think her arms are strong enough to like lift her whole body weight when she's waist deep. So yeah, but as soon as she's out, she's flipping back over to look down at what's down there. There's something down there.
Yeah, it's
And
metal. Like a sheet of metal.
was the statue and
No, wait, not a
And-
sheet of metal. Sorry, concrete.
concrete. Was the statue an entrance of some sort? Or is that do national treasure?
Might be national treasure, but it might also be that. There's definitely something under the park, and you're far
It's
enough
man-made.
away from the plinth to know that like it's not like part of whatever because they would have had to sort of create like a foundation on which to put the monument so that it doesn't sink. But like you're far enough away that it doesn't make sense to have the foundation all the way up to here.
And also that low. But
That low.
also
in the ground.
it wouldn't make sense for it to be that like waist deep underground and not like like the whole way down, you know?
Yeah.
That looks like a structure, my guess.
I mean, it makes sense. They want us to clear out, everybody around before it activates whatever it is. If it wasn't something that people would see looking on.
So, DM, how clear? You said that people were starting to clear out. Is it clear enough again to where we could? Oh, I guess is the brick that we were pulling on? Can we see if that was attached to those wires in the legs, or was that a separate thing?
It seems like it was a separate thing.
Okay, well then can we go like try
However-
to pull on that
Yeah.
if it's
when
empty enough?
So what you're pulling on the brick again?
If it's much more clear in this area now with the sinkhole scare than it was before, I think Anaya's just gonna give it a try.
It doesn't stop at half an inch. And you start pulling on it and lifting it up.
A little bit of help here, please.
Yeah, I mean, can I have my arm back first, or?
Oh, she tossed that to you right away.
Okay.
She assumed you were gonna use that to help her get out.
Okay, so now I've got the heart and the arm. So I will come and assist with the brick.
Wait, we should look at that heart too at some point. Eh?
Well, I don't know which what's the order of actions here.
Brick first, heart second.
All right.
Yeah.
Brick first, you lift it all the way up to your knees, thereabout, when it clicks. And when it does so, you hear the grinding begins to echo a little. And there's just this subtle shift of the entire monument. Like the entire plinth. Like it sort of rotated maybe a quarter of an inch. It looks loose.
Figure we should push on it, or what do you think?
Let's look at the heart first to see if.
Sure. She'll hand over the heart.
Yeah.
The heart is a well, not really rusty, but an old metal case with a little padlock on it. It's about this thick, and like I said, the shape roughly same size as a cell phone. It's got a little engraving on the cover at the bottom. Property of the U.S. government.
I will definitely pass that around the group.
Oh, and by the way, I'll go ahead and assume when you took the box out, like you ripped the other wires from it. So it's not like there's not like 5 feet of electrical wires coming out of it as well. Yes, passing the box around.
Is it a padlock like
It's a
clipped
tiny
on,
padlock.
like a second thing, or is it like built into the box?
No, it's a second thing.
Okay.
You want to pull it off?
Yeah.
It's a padlock. I mean, how strong are you?
It's it's the kind of almost the kind of padlock you would find on like these like diaries for children. Like it's not as flimsy, but it's like almost the same size. It's so
kind
tiny.
of like
Yeah.
a luggage lock.
A what?
Luggage lock.
Oh yeah, like a luggage lock. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not looking at Archer for any reason as to whether she
Give it
can
give
get
it here.
into the lock.
I'll
Okay.
I'll try and pull it off. Give it here.
Okay.
So should I?
You don't have to roll. You can just put your finger
I figure she's either
inside
gonna-
the
either
loop
gonna
and just
break-
roll.
She's either gonna break it or she's gonna pick it. Let's be real.
When you open the box, inside is a device shaped like a walkie-talkie. There's a little screen in the middle. It doesn't display anything anymore, but you can see like faded lines, like a
Grid.
grid. The kind of it's the kind of faded, like you remember on the old, like on an old computer monitor, if you left a static image up on your screen for a long time, it would like burn itself onto your monitor. It's kind of the same thing. Like this grid has probably been displayed on that little screen for so long that even if it's off, you can still see it. It's got 3 little red buttons at the top. Sort of buttons that you could press, right, if you were holding it like a walkie-talkie. Right now, none of them are pressed. And there's a small, like, dual antenna, one longer than the other. The entire thing fits in the palm of your hand. Almost like a receiver, an emitter for a, like a trucker's radio or a ham radio. It looks rather old. Like, you've been on military bases, Archer, before. This is the type of thing that probably existed, like, back in the, gosh, like, 80s? Maybe even 70s? The type of thing that, you know, because it works, why would they change it? Why would they upgrade it? And for all intents and purposes, it looks like a, sort of like a scanner. Like perhaps each button would let it, like, allow it to scan either different frequencies or a different thing. But the way, like, you know, there's a screen with a grid, 3 buttons, antennas to send a message. It's clearly connected to something.
Mhm.
Like, it would probably make sense if this thing was, like, sweeping around, scanning an area, and then sending that data to wherever it was connected. Or
Right.
perhaps it was connected because, you know, power supply.
Fitz, do you think that there's any way that you can get this doohickey to work again if you were to fiddle with it, or is it like dead, long dead?
Yeah, give it here. And he'll take it. There's a few ways I can work this. I mean, notably, I'd go with the principle of the gearhead because it's a technological. There we go. Challenge. And he would likely, take a look at the wires leading into it. Probably have an idea maybe of the the kind of thing that might power it. I'm also thinking of not that, but principle of the gearhead is pretty much where I'd go. That with his creativity, if anything.
So you'll get some information just because you're a gearhead on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll ask you to roll anyway to get some extra information. We're gonna call that an overcome challenge, like a regular, challenge. And whatever information you can gather in addition to the basic.
So I have to line up my power, my quality, and my status, right? For my... Okay, so definitely going with creativity. I mean, power-wise, there's not really a lot. I mean, maybe... No. I was about to say maybe he uses his sword to help him pry the cover off to get inside. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
That'd be a little strange.
It would be. I don't know what to do power-wise.
If nothing fits, it's a D4.
Yeah. It's a D4?
Yeah, you can write it in, you can add an extra power that just has nothing.
Oops. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Let's roll this. Fingers crossed.
Middle one is a 4.
I rolled a 4 on a D4. I'm kind of happy with that.
Nice.
So here's what you know.
Okay.
It was a scanner. How was it powered? Well, just simply by looking around, you realize you could either put batteries in the compartment in the back, or what was done is someone jury-rigged these wires into the battery compartment on the positive and the negative, and then that was what was running through the statue.
Okay.
Which means that, it was a power supply thing more than it being connected to something else. The scanner seems to scan... You're not quite sure, but looking at the inside, and that's where the twist is going to come in with the 4. You will get all that information, but you'll only do so because you are tearing this thing to pieces. You won't be able to make it work after. But you will know what it was. You might be able to recreate it later, but this one specific scanner is unusable. So it scans 3 things. Yeah.
One thing. Overcome a technical challenge and use your max die. That's principle of the gearhead. Does that change which die we're using?
A 7 then. It would not. It would need to be an 8.
Oh. Fine.
I'll remind y'all you have, 1 die of every sort, every type in the common dice pool.
I think we also have hero points to spend.
In theory, we have 11.
You used to have 11. You should have had spent them.
I thought we got
started.
8 last session that we have this session to spend. That's what my notes say.
No, it was 11.
11?
According to my post-its, we had 11 from last session.
It was on the overlay anyway.
Wow.
So, yeah. But I mean, we've been off for like 3 weeks, so I understand if like everyone forgot. I forgot until I opened Streamlabs earlier. But that said, for now, we'll go with this. It scans gamma radiation, radio frequencies, and the third one is something you've never seen before. The scanner itself, like inside the wiring and everything, one of them leads to like this little, it's like a quartz crystal. It looks burnt, like where the wires connected to the crystal, it's blackened, like it was burnt. And I mean, the crystal is like this small. It's very tiny. Whatever that was used for, apparently that's what the third button was doing.
Do I know if these buttons had to be pressed in order for it to activate or scan for that? Okay. So it wasn't just like actively scanning. Someone had to like press the button to activate it.
Yep. Basically, the scanner could only scan one of the three at a time.
Right.
So you had to choose. I'll remind you, none of those buttons were pressed when you found it. Which means that no one has been using this scanner for a while. Or perhaps, and that's something that you don't really know, perhaps when it shuts off, the buttons all depress. Like whatever button you had on just clicks off.
Okay.
So you're left with that, like those two hypotheses. Either someone was actively using it, or it's been left like idling for years, perhaps.
So because everything it's falling to pieces in his hands as he's figuring this out, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's not falling to pieces, but as you're pulling things apart, you're figuring out how it works.
Okay. So, Fitz is gonna relay to everybody like what he's realizing about the scanner. He will actually like I think we need to keep this crystal. He's gonna like point to the tiny little thing. He's like, I think there was a surge that could have burnt it a little bit, but I don't know this, and we should keep it. Anybody object?
I mean, no, now that it's not doing anything
No.
anymore, it seems just useful.
Okay, and he's gonna slip it in his pocket for safety.
Okay.
So the statue moved. The plinth.
Yeah, the plinth moved.
Sorry. Let's be a little more Fitz about this. That big rock moved.
Mhm.
Do you guys like need help pushing it? Should we push it? Can we push it? I want to try and push it.
You want to try and push
Has
it?
the crew arrived yet?
I mean, it's been a little while. I'll say that at this point, the construction truck arrives. Because I mean, I was going almost real time. If it takes them about a half hour
Okay.
to get here, but yeah,
Okay.
we'll say like by the time Fitz is done fiddling with the scanner, like you hear the truck like park nearby, almost like on. Like, they drove onto the grass, and two construction people, well, or I should say, Paragon Industries workers, with, you know, their, like, flashy orange and yellow vests, hard hats, um, are walking towards Bayani. Or I should say
Fit.
Ren.
Fitz is gonna like wave to them and be like, "Hey guys, watch out for the sinkholes," and he's gonna point to where Anaya had like sunk into the ground. Just be careful. I don't want you guys getting hurt.
Yeah.
Sure. And like one of them gets a like a little pole with a flag, like a flashy orange, glow in the dark type of thing, or reflective, and they just like use it almost like a 10-foot pole in D&D, where they like poke at the ground to make sure that it's solid,
Yeah.
and then they start putting like cordoning off a perimeter around the statue, while the other one, a younger woman, probably not older than like 21 or 22, approaches Ren and says, "So, what is it you need us to do?"
Basically keep people away from the site, but maybe work on some cleanup. Try to see if you can get this statue up and reassembled, and try to keep your powers used down to a minimum.
No worries. In fact, one of the that very woman, whose name, I mean, unless you can come up with a name right away, we'll have one later, because it's not displayed in her speech bubble or anything. But her power is that she actually has very limited fire powers, where she can essentially turn her fingers into like blowtorches. So it makes like, in a pinch, those are like fire claws, if you will, if she was to fight. But as a, everyday power, uses it to weld the things together.
Don't forget your welder's masks.
Oh, yep, in the truck. Everything's...
Got it.
And they're gonna get to work. Of course, few onlookers again, just looking at the scene, but it is now something very mundane. The big rock is there. Fitz leans on it, and it moves with surprising ease. It actually rotates. Where that foot is, that's where, like, that's the rotation axis. And
Well then,
when you rotate it a bit, it's barely wide enough to let a person go down. There's a very tight space with steel rungs of a ladder embedded inside the concrete, going down into the dark. That we're gonna take a break today. Be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Stick around, everyone. Grab yourselves a drink. Grab yourself some booster packs if you want to mess with the players later tonight. And we will see you in a couple of minutes. Stick around. But hey, everyone, we are back.
Hello.
The plinth was rotated, revealing a ladder going down into the dark. What's up, heroes? What are you gonna do now?
I'm not going first.
I'm totally going first.
Oh, Anaya was saying that out loud.
Fitzroy
I'm
isn't going
assuming
to say
Fitz was-
anything.
Oh, I was like, I assume Fitz was saying out loud too.
He was just going to like look straight down. And you could see that he's vexed. And it's his brow is kind of like furrowed in that kind of, can I just jump straight down, or should I really like just use the ladder? And after a few seconds thought, he kind of does a bit of both. He kind of like jumps into the hole, but grabs onto the rungs and starts going down.
It's maybe like 1 story down.
Okay. As long as I had more than 6 feet.
Yeah,
Otherwise
you
that
had
might
more
hurt.
than 6 feet.
Okay.
It's high enough, once you're down at the bottom, it's high enough that you can't touch the ceiling with your hand.
Okay.
So, like, let's say government standard height. It's a small room, completely dark. So I don't know if you have a flashlight to light your way.
I do not.
I mean, does Fitz has a cell phone?
Undoubtedly.
Okay. Then you have a light.
I mean, I think we can definitely say that Fitzroy loves himself enough to have 3 cell phones, if need be. Because, you know, one battery might die, and the other one might run out of space for selfies, and the third one is the backup.
Makes sense.
Plus, he's a bit of a techie.
It's a small room, roughly maybe like 8 feet by 8 feet, almost the size of a cell. And there's a big fire escape door, you know, like reinforced steel, like fireproof door, right in front of you.
Does
It's
it open
gonna-
inwards or outwards?
It opens inwards towards you.
Okay.
There's a handle. There are no locks visible on it.
Mr. B, I think this is the escape route. We're kind of going in backwards.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think we should probably just go through it.
Okay. And he's going to open the fire escape.
All right. You open the fire escape, and you find yourself in front of a disused elevator shaft. There's a little landing, about 2 feet, on the other side of the door, before it just leads to a shaft. The cables are going up, are going down because they're, you know, at your level. And if you look down, you can see sort of almost at the edge of your light, the top of a like steel cage. That was used as the elevator itself. So it's not like a fancy hotel elevator or anything like that. It's more like a freight elevator.
And like, is it really far down? Like, is it like multiple stories down, or is it like just 2 or 3
It's
stories?
2 stories down, like 2 or 3
Oh, okay.
stories down.
2 or 3 stories. Okay.
Like enough that if you jump, you'll make it because you're a superhero. But also, it's a steel cage. It's gonna make a damn lot of noise.
Oh, I'm not jumping. Nope. Nope. Fitzroy is going to see that he can see like where the steel cage is, and he is going to bamf.
Okay. For the other 3 up top, you all heard Fitz ask Mr. B a question. You could see the dim light of his phone, and then it disappeared.
Okay, I didn't really give him permission to just go ahead without us, but well, down we go. And Ren is going to do that cool thing with ladders. If you really want to go down fast, is to just hold the sides and with your hands and feet, and just use it to slide down like a fire escape pole.
I mean, ain't nobody died yet. We should probably, follow.
Go ahead.
All right. She'll follow.
Anaya will take the ladder down like a normal human. One rung at a time.
Safety first. So for all three of you, same thing. Little room. The fire escape door is wide open. You see the cables. And if you peer in, you would see the light of Fitz and like Fitz's silhouette down there. Fitz yourself, when you bamf down, like you can see through the steel case. It's like a mesh of steel. There is an elevator door under. There's a trap on the steel case that you can open to go inside the elevator, and then you would be able to probably need to pry open the room. Like, there are no lights. You're not quite certain if there's power in there, so the buttons might not even work.
Yeah, he's just gonna open up that trap and kind of like just hop through. Most likely, he is going to try at least one of the buttons to see if there's any reaction out of the elevator, see if there's any power to the elevator. Yeah. Nothing. Mr. B, there's no power.
Well, that's unfortunate. And Ren is going to actually light up one of his fingers and use that as a makeshift torchlight to look around and see if there's a fuse box or a circuit breaker.
Not on this side. You do see, and I forgot to mention it, the copper cables, the copper wires, I should say, they run down the length of the wall, like almost across from the from the ladder, and then they turn and go through the fire escape door, like a little hole that was drilled on top of it. And if you look inside the elevator, same thing. The wires go down, and through a hole in the wall, they go through. So beyond the elevator doors. So whatever power source is beyond those doors. At least for the scanner. But no fuse boxes,
okay.
No breakers or anything like that. Not in here.
All right, I think I have an idea. Everyone down onto the elevator car. See if we can get inside it.
If you say so.
So all three of you will rappel down the steel cable into the elevator case. Well, I say rappel down, I mean, because I notice how Pooja's looking at me right now. Is Anaya doing that?
I think she's probably more likely to, like, hold on to Archer as Archer holds on.
Yeah, you can hold on to me.
Yeah, she's not. She's a normal human with normal human hands at the moment. Like, she's not creating the fiction of going down a giant metal cable with her human hand. No. No. Yes, you'll hold on to Archer and benefit from the metal arm.
So the two of you slide down and join with Fitz.
Archer, do you want to take one side and I'll take the other side and we'll pull?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, are we going up or are we going down? Thought we were going down.
Down is the only way, but the elevator is closed. I'm trying to open the elevator.
Might have not described it properly. Let me just grab the Roll20 very quickly. So,
wait, could we have gone up?
this is a side. I'm gonna draw a side view of what it was. So here you had like the ladder going down into a room, and then there was the door here, and then that was the elevator chute. Shaft? Yeah, I don't know why I said chute. This is this like steel case thingy, and then there's a door here, but there's a floor here. The elevator really only goes up and down the shaft, like either up to the fire escape door or down to the elevator doors you have here.
Okay.
So it
I
goes
thought
up
that
and
there
down
was
that
still.
shaft. Okay.
I thought that there were still some ways down. And,
No, that's it. There's no other, like, it doesn't go any deeper.
Okay.
It's a secret complex, but it's like a cheap secret complex.
They skipped on all the
It's an
fancy
IKEA
bits.
furnished. It's not perfectly aligned. So Bayani is just going to form a blazing sword and slice through the door.
You Star Wars Episode 1 your way through the door. It takes a while. But you end up cutting a big enough hole on the other side. Immaculate white corridor.
Lit up? Or
Lit
dark?
up.
Uh-oh.
It's rather long. You notice that there's two doors. One on your right that is like the closest to you. It's probably about like 10-ish feet from you. Then another one on the left side, a little bit away. And then the corridor itself at the end splits into, it branches off into two directions.
Fitz will sweat slightly at the sight of a pure white corridor lit up by ambiguous light sources.
Oh, this is nice and immaculately clean.
Yep. And the lighting here is all neon lights. There are no blaring alarms. Nothing so far.
Brendan's going to look around and see if he sees the copper wires at all.
Yes. They actually go in the first room on the right. So you follow them on the wall. They're like almost like the corner between the wall and where the wall and the ceiling meet. And they go from the elevator and then again would like enter that room through a little hole.
All right. We should follow these copper wires and see where they lead us.
So the four of you make your way to that door. By the way, oddly enough, the doors inside, so the first one and the second one, like, they're made out of wood. They're standard, nondescript doors. They're not reinforced. They're not high-tech or anything. It sort of tells that perhaps whoever built this complex, or whatever purpose it was, the inside of the complex was not something that could potentially come under attack or something. When you enter this first room, you are met with rows upon rows of old-timey computers. And we're talking like the giant fridge-size computers with like
Mag tapes.
the
all that.
tapes and all that. Yeah. A few of them have monitors built in. A lot of little lights that should have been blinking. While there's power in the room, because the light is on, none of the computers are powered. And the wires, basically, once they go in, they sort of go in like the first computer to the right of the door. Which doesn't have a monitor, but probably if that computer was on, then the scanner was like leeching power off of that computer or something. But it clearly dates this complex to like maybe late 70s, early 80s at best.
Huh. All right, Fitz, you're up. Let's check these computers out and see what's on them.
So, still slightly sweaty, Fitz will walk into the room, kind of look around at everything, make sure he's, I'll say, safe for lack of a better word. Is there like a main terminal that he can find, or like a primary access point of some kind?
Yeah, there's one that you would know, like it's the main console.
He's going to go there. I'm assuming there's some kind of like 1970s rolly chair nearby that he's just going to grab and sit down on. And he's just going to start hammering away at the keyboard.
Computer's offline. You can hammer away at the keyboard.
He's hammering it.
Yeah.
All
of the computers here are offline, by the way. The only power in the room, like I said, are the lights over.
Oh, okay. He's gonna duck under like the desk or whatever. Look for a way to like. Fitz is looking for a power cable
and
an on switch.
There are power cables, but
first rule: make sure it's plugged in.
Yeah, they're like even like screwed onto the wall, like in these like, the old sort of metal tubes. Now they're plastic tubes to sort out your cabling when you do cable management.
You mean the metal encased wiring for high voltages that are not embedded in walls?
Exactly.
Yes.
It's exactly that. That is leading away from this room. Towards the, let's say, the east. So here's the computer room. And the cables are going out. So if you wanted to follow them, it would be rather difficult because you won't see them from the corridor. But it's at the end of the corridor, take a right, and you would be going in the right direction.
Okay. And like I've like poked the on button as well to make sure that really there's just no power coming through at this point.
Nope, nothing. It's dead.
Okay. So there's like no power in here. so these things aren't working. But the power cable goes out the back. And he's going to point at the wall. Volunteers.
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but I can help.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He is going to walk to the door, kind of like look both ways, step out, go down the corridor, go to like the T at the end of the hall, and like look both ways to see.
Whoa. First, here is a door on this side, and on the other side, the corridor keeps going for a little while. And then you have... Now you see something high-tech. Like, futuristic-looking metal sliding door. And next to it is a little pad. Gridded. Like a biometric scanner. It is lit up.
That's not good. He is not going to go around the corner.
You don't notice anyone, though.
Where's Bayani right now?
Hanging out in the computer room.
In the computer. So Fitz is going to go back into the computer room, and he's actually going to walk up to Mr. B and kind of like say like really, really hushed, like, Mr. B, there's like a really... There's something that doesn't belong here at the end of the corridor, and it's I think it's a metal door with a biometric scanner. I don't think it's supposed to be here.
Well, I don't think any of this is actually supposed to be here, but I suppose we can go check it out.
Yeah, but this stuff is like some like 19 God knows what older than I am stuff. That other stuff, that's like next year's tech. Shouldn't be on the market yet.
Oh, well, I guess we're just gonna have to check it out. And he'll just make his way over there to investigate the biometric panel.
It's a biometric panel. Big enough to put your hand on it. However, when you approach the biometric scanner, this you get closer to look at it, and out of the corner of your eye, you barely have time to see a small dart jut out from the room, the wall, and then just lunge itself. It embeds itself on the other wall. And like what we would see if, again, comic book, that panel is Bayani like turning around. We see Fitz a little ways farther away, and in between the two of you, just like this storm of darts shooting and crisscrossing across the corridor. That means... for now, I'm just going to roll a d6, but Bayani, you're going to take 5 damage as one of them grazes your back as it moves, and you immediately feel your back going a little numb. like if these darts were coated in some sort of anesthetic agent.
Oh, all right. Okay. Are they still going back and forth? Or are the
Oh
darts
yeah,
still firing?
it's not going to stop.
Okay.
Is this barrage of darts something that Anaya and I would hear to know to come
yes.
out? Okay.
Yeah.
In the room,
Okay.
I was gonna say you hear.
What the hell is that?
I'm not. We should go look.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go.
Is so the dart's going across. Is Fitz in the way of getting hit?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, so what we're gonna do is we'll play like every hero in turn,
Right.
and every turn, Bayani, you'll have to do something or come up with a way to protect yourself. Or just take the hit. So we'll start with Anaya and Archer. So I'll do Anaya, Archer, and then Fitz, Bayani.
Okay.
So that if anyone wants to help Bayani before we get to him. So Anaya first. You heard that noise, came out of the room to see the shower of darts. Actually, not darts. I shouldn't have said darts. That's too D&D of me. They're like small syringes.
How far am I from where they're going?
Movement is pretty much inconsequential. If you want to get there, you can get there on your turn. If you want to get there and back, that can be possible. Except that if you get into the way of the darts, something might happen.
Okay. I think. Just trying to see what I can.
Oh, and by the way, as far as we're concerned, right now, the scene is in green.
Okay. What if I try to do a galvanize and try to, I don't know, see if there's anything I can kind of like fling, like, I don't know if there's anything around me that I can fling in the direction, kind of like a moving protective shield or cover or something, just like throw something.
The door to the computer room is made of like wood. It's a regular, cheap door.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the strongest person in the world, but
No,
you
I'm really
could,
not.
You could under stress maybe rip the door out of its hinges and throw it at Bayani to be used as a shield.
I mean, there's got to be some earth around here, like either underneath the flooring and such. Couldn't she just
That too.
use her geokinesis to basically move the earth and cordon off or block the things that are shooting flechettes out?
Yeah. I mean, because Pooja said that she wanted to throw something, I went for the door. But yes, if you, I mean, you're underground.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's gonna make her. That's actually gonna be stop her from using her powers, basically, because she is underground, and yeah, she doesn't want to cave this whole place in on all of them. So she's still gonna try to oh, maybe are either Bayani or her Fitz? Probably Bayani. Is Bayani close enough to her for her to get to him?
You can, yes.
She might just try to, because Fitz can move quickly in a hurry, she might just try to tackle Bayani to the ground if that could get him out of harm's way of the things.
I would count that as a boost action.
Yes,
and
so
basically
that's still
it would give him
galvanize.
Okay, yeah. It would help whatever it is that Anino wants to do on his turn.
Okay. So I'm gonna galvanize. After I click the 3, how do I roll again?
It's the roll action dice button at the top of the sheet.
Oh, at the top. Oh, yes. Ha ha ha.
So we're gonna take the 6. And say, oh yes.
Sorry, I was say this. What this also does is apply that bonus to all hero attack and overcome actions until the start of my next turn.
Oh, good. Well then, whatever you do, Anino, until next turn, you have +2 to it. So we would see Anaya just run and, jump and tackle Bayani to the ground. There are some low flechettes going, like darts whizzing past you, but it's not as bad as when you were standing up. Archer.
I'm going to take that door idea. I will pull the door off its hinges. Are they coming from both sides of the hall? These
yes.
Darts? Okay. I'd like to break the door in half and try and use it as like a one on either side. Try and get to the bundle of people who's now in the middle of the middle of the hallway.
Yep.
And sort of like make a force field as much as I can to try and get everybody out of the hall.
All right. What do you use to do that?
To do which part?
So we'll do, both the ripping the door off its hinges and breaking it. That's all going to be part of the same.
Strength, I assume.
Action.
Yeah.
Strength. Okay, that's a good one.
Strength and finesse, maybe, and green.
Okay.
Either finesse or it needs therapy, but I assume that finesse works better in this instance.
Probably. All right, so with a 6, you're gonna succeed, but with a minor twist. So you will get all the way to Bayani and Anaya with the shield. However, as you duck down to protect them, you will also be hit by one of the darts, and you would take your mid die in damage, so that would be 6 damage.
Okay.
So as one of the syringes embeds itself in your arm, you start to feel woozy, and let's say it's your left arm, your flesh arm. No, that would be your right arm, right?
My right arm, yeah.
So you feel woozy, and your right arm sort of becomes numb. Like when your hand falls asleep because you've been lying on your arm for too long. It's the same sensation. Fitz, you saw both Anaya jump on Bayani. You heard Archer break the door in half and walk in, trying to protect them both. What do you do?
I'm assuming that they both had to go by me.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
in front of you.
Right.
While you're thinking, hi, raiders! Hello! We're trapped in a corridor and being fired at with something darts.
Something darts. So, do I have any space between where the darts are shooting, from the walls and the biometric scanner? Is there like a safe space there, or not at all?
It looks like, no, there is, but it's very. You would have to press yourself on the door, and basically just like reach out to tap on the biometric scanner.
Given that he can't really do anything, I mean, he could have maybe tackled somebody to the floor or pushed somebody out of the way, but given that all three of them are there and that's just going to be an incredible, like, just tussle of human body parts, that's really not necessary. Fitz will teleport himself, press against the door, and try to fiddle with the biometric scanner to get the door to open in hopes that that's going to be the quickest escape.
Okay. That would be an overcome challenge.
Yeah.
What are you using?
I would use my self-teleportation to get me there, and then most likely kick in with my creativity, and we're green, but also it's an overcome, so I'd employ my principle of the gearhead. So
Okay.
technological challenge, use my max die, and everyone gains the hero point if I'm successful.
Ooh.
I think.
Nice.
By the way, this is round 2 of using principle of the gearhead.
Yeah, you've already used it before, and I forgot to mark it down. So right now, everyone has 1 hero point at the end of tonight.
I?
Yes, uber fail.
Oh my god. So your highest is a 3. The action utterly spectacularly. Oh no, a 3. Sorry, it's not a less than 0. No, I'll give you a choice then. It fails,
Uh-huh.
or it succeeds with a major twist.
Ooh. What? How can I spice this up?
If it's a major twist, I'm going to. I know what I'll use because there's one that I built into it.
Okay. Let's go with the major twist. I want to see what happens.
All right, major twist is dart to the neck, and we're gonna use your max plus your min dice, which might not be the worst because you rolled like
Ooh.
crap. So that's a total of 5. So you will be hindered until further notice. You have a -2 on everything that you do. As the dart lodges itself in your neck, and you immediately feel sleepy and drowsy. And
no.
you have all the trouble in the world to just keep your head
my
in
feet.
the game. Yeah.
Okay.
Bayani. You're tackled on the ground, two broken pieces of doors left and right of you, with Archer like crouched down.
All right. So we're gonna have to talk about proper spacing, making sure that the people who have and need a lot of room to operate have that. And you'll see that he'll awkwardly lift his hand up, and he's going to form. He's going to use his firepower to form the jaws of life that will pry open and spread the door apart so that they can try to pass through and get out of this corridor.
That will be an overcome action. So that would be fire. We know that. Green for now because we're in green. And what else?
Probably thinking clutch, but I'm also wondering if I should use one of the other dice.
One thing that I forgot to mention to Andrew is that you started fiddling with it. It needs 2 successes to work.
Got it.
So you're halfway there to hack the door open.
Okay.
When 2 giant fiery hands move past you and try to force the door open. Oh,
And
sorry,
I will
Anina.
assume just barely move past me because I'm like up against the door and also falling over, also trying to fiddle with the biometric scanner. So I'm feeling the heat.
You're feeling the heat.
I'm hot. Okay.
Actually, Bayani, is there friendly fire on your hands? Like, is the fire sort of magical and it doesn't really affect those you don't want it to affect?
Did we toggle the option of friendly fire off?
I mean, he can feel the heat, but he's going to make sure that it doesn't make physical contact.
Yeah, okay. Alright then.
So how do the extra dice work?
So the common dice pool, right now you have 1d6, 1d8, 1d10, and 1d12, courtesy of everyone who's been playing the TCG. If the group accepts, you can pick one of them to replace one that you would have normally.
So I can't replace the scene status
Yeah,
dice?
you could.
I have to replace... Oh, you could? Okay.
Any of the 3, yeah.
I'm going to do any of the 3. I'm going to replace the scene status dice, and I'm going to swap in the D10.
Everyone okay with
Unless
that?
anyone objects.
Mm-hmm.
Very much.
And does your power do anything special, like use the highest die or the max die or something like that?
Oh, I suppose I should attach a skill to that.
Well, it doesn't have to be, like, I'm just wondering if there is a skill or it's just a basic overcome action that you're trying.
I think it's just a basic overcome action.
Okay. So, with the first success of Fitz trying to like short circuit basically the mechanism for the door, as the door is basically just like less steady, I guess. You shove the fire hands in, and it starts to pull it open. But as it does so, you hear in the background, coming from beyond the door, the meow, meow, meow of an alarm ringing.
Oh.
And of course,
God damn it.
because it's an alarm system and everything, you know, you have like those spinning red lights in the corridor beyond. That means that the scene moves automatically forward 1 step, which means that we're now in yellow.
Oh, great.
And whoever is in the complex now knows that you're there.
I guess we're going in loud.
I guess.
I will
They were gonna.
assume that Fitz is going to fall backwards if it's opened enough.
Mhm.
And he's just going to fall, like, flat.
Yeah, he's actually Anaya, like when Fitz fall, you see the syringe on his neck. In his neck, I should say. And when you take it out, it's basically like a chemical substance akin to lidocaine.
Well, I don't. I'll obviously rush over and take the needle out, but I don't have a med kit on me. I assume.
You can always assume that unless, you know, something happened, you have, you know, you're a doctor. You would have something with you too.
So I don't. Would I know if like standard anti-opioid medication would help with this. I don't know what it's called. The stuff they say that people should have because there's lots of overdoses happening. Like, what's it called? But whatever, the fictional version of that, like something that you would give to somebody.
Yeah. So it's possible. Basically anything with a lot of adrenaline in it.
Well, I was thinking about naloxone.
Yeah, naloxone. Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have what it. Well, no, I'm sorry. You don't necessarily have what it takes. That's what your role is going to dictate.
Oh, okay.
Because here's the thing, you have the necessary equipment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But right now, Fitz's penalty is at -2.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can raise it up to like +2 to negate it, that means that you'll have, purged all of it from his system. Otherwise, it might be.
So am I trying to overcome?
No, that would actually be a boost.
A boost. Okay. All right. So yellow. I'm gonna use medicine. I don't know what the heck of my my powers are gonna be apply here. Agility.
I could.
Just moving fast through my med supplies, getting the right thing.
Yep. Acting very quickly because, the longer you take, the worse it might get.
Yeah, okay. All right, and then my roller's taking a while. Oh dear. Okay, so agility, medicine, and yellow.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
A 4. Guess what? That's just enough.
Yes!
So yeah, with the proper administration of counter agents, Fitz wake back up. The door is
Battle
open.
medicine.
Door is open.
Okay.
Alarm blaring. Do you all throw yourselves into the complex?
Yeah, I'm gonna help Fitz get off the ground and, help him inside.
Is the complex like a just like, are we talking corridor? Are we talking like massive like hangar type space? What are
No,
we
it's
talking
corridor.
about?
It's like an office space.
Oh, okay.
But we're gonna get to discover that next week. As it's coming up to 11, so I'll leave everyone with, again, just a panel of 2 panels, actually, by the time we end tonight. One of them is Simulacra, the pink-haired woman, behind, an array of monitors. One of them showing the 4 of you prying the door open. And she just shouts to someone, that's off camera. They're here, get them off my scent. And the other panel we would see groups of, soldiers setting up barricades in a corridor. And that's where we're gonna end tonight's issue. Did we have fun?
We had lots of fun.
Lots of fun.
My God.
I know it's been a while.
I have no idea what's happening right now. Well, Naya doesn't. I do. Naya's like, Wah! Why is tranquilizer diets happening? Panic! Nobody panic!
Yeah, it's going to be hectic next week too. And then you're gonna have a ton of answers. And then what you do with it is gonna be up to you. But the introduction to the game will probably end next week.
Woo!
After
Pretty excited
4
about
issues.
this.
Yeah.
Fun.
So, that said, let us go around the table if you have anything, any projects you want to shout out, any place that we can find you, anything going on, I have one announcement to make, but I'll wait until last. We'll do same order that we did the intros, so we will start with Fitz. Hi, Fitz.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Andrew, at Anderful1 on Twitter. Again, I'm just not very social media active at all, especially right now. But if there is anything that starts up, or if I'm doing any new projects, that's where you would find it. Otherwise, you will find me here on Thursdays, playing Fitzroy. And that's pretty much me. I look forward to seeing what happens next week and continuing on with our glorious adventure.
Me?
Next, we have, Anaya.
Hello, everybody. I'm Pooja. You can find me on the internet at Pooja on Twitter and at Poojaperwaki on Instagram and in the Twitch chat. And when I'm not here on Thursdays, you can also find me on Tuesdays over on the Manapot Studios channel on their Flights of Fandom show, where we tackle different fandoms, sometimes on a weekly, sometimes on a month-to-month basis. We are currently midway through our Pacific Rim flight for June, and we'll be doing a bunch of one-shots in July, so come find me there at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, and stay tuned to the space for more random things as they pop up. I believe July is going to be bananas, so we'll see how that goes.
All right. Archer.
I am Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at HanimationArt or on Instagram and Facebook at Hanimation Studios. You can also find me and Danino here on Wandering DM's channel tomorrow, 8:30 p.m., playing some Cyberpunk Red. And then both of us again on Saturday, 1 p.m. for some Scion. And then you can see me personally with my shop live in person at MetroCon, July 23rd through the 25th, if anybody happens to be going there. So, exciting stuff.
Nice. And last but not least, Bayani.
Hey everyone, my name is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. Hannah just basically told you my schedule for the next couple of days, so tune in for that. Follow me on Twitter. I did post a new piece of fiction on my landing page. That's aninogaming.com. That is ties into Sentinels of the Multiverse. It's the first meeting between Archer and Bayani. So if you're interested in checking that out, please do so. And, apart from that, I don't have anything else to add right now. So.
And I am Simon at Wandering DM. Thank you everyone for coming tonight. The one thing that I wanted to announce is I've talked about it on Monday, and there will be an actual announcement tomorrow, but I am a DICE affiliate with Die Hard Dice, so if you want to get fancy dice, you can use code WanderingJune to get 10% off all of your purchases at Die Hard Dice until the end of the month. And every month I will reveal through a basically a campaign that I'm building up, I guess, through little prompts on Twitter. The first one's going to be tomorrow. Essentially, we're going to discover a brand new world, and each clue is linked to a dice set that if you get it's like my dice set of the month, if you will. So you'll be able to see like new stuff coming out and stuff that Die Hard Dice basically have created. And of course, starting probably next week or very soon, multiple giveaways, because you wouldn't believe how many dice sets I have now. So yeah, so I'm gonna have basically like a summer of like sort of Christmas and I could keep them for July and do Christmas in July. I might do that. So we'll see about that. But yes, expect giveaways, expect a lot of goodies and stuff, and expect me back tomorrow here for Cyberpunk at 8:30 and Saturday for Scion at 1 p.m. Thank you everyone for coming, and we will see you again next week. Bye bye.